G'day, how you going? I thought a bit of a request to just actually fly a mission. So I'll fly this one with Vaicom Pro, and at the moment I have it configuration. I have it set up with my preferences to disable the menus. I just think that adds to the immersion, not having menus popping up in the right hand side of the screen while I'm in VR, so they're disabled. We'll leave it like that. We'll just go fly it. It's an AI wing, and we'll just get airborne and change some formations, meander out to the target and see what we go. I'm playing on a multiplayer server, so the AI do get a bit dopey, but we'll see how they go. So we'll get rid of that, and we'll get rid of that, and we will jump into the pit. Alright, so we're sitting here at our Saffron airbase, or Leah airbase, and in our Hornet, ground crew ready to go. The first thing, I've configured some extra things into the Vaicom profile, so I've got things like clear chat, just to clear out chat boxes and things, and center reverb, center up the HMD, and request rearming. So that's all on the interphone. While we're here, we'll change that. We'll take the Mark 82s, might drop that off and put, there we go.
Copy.
And while they're doing that, we'll get this thing fired up. So let's make sure everything is set. It's down, all done, and battery on. Ground power on.
Copy. Rearming complete. Ground power is now on.
And on the comms menu, we've got
roll left.
305 is our flight,
Controls.
and we have ATC on COM2 channel 1. And I'll bring the displays up. I've got a physical pit, so I'm moving some switches with the mouse and others with the buttons in the physical pit. And helps to just bring everything online and get things set up before we go. Listen to the ATIS.
0446 Zulu time. Visibility 43 nautical miles. No clouds. Altimeter QNH 29er decimal 9er 4 QFE 29er decimal 5 1 inches of mercury. Temperature 27 degrees Celsius. 17
So this is a
degrees
Moose scripted
Celsius.
mission, so it's got a lot of
Wind
F10
from
menu
276
items and bits and pieces in
at
it.
3 knots.
Scored
Gusting.
range, things like that, and
Active runway.
ATIS's. So that's fine. We'll get startup. Request startup.
Dodge 1-1. Cleared for startup. Wind 279 at 2 meters per second.
So that's 2 starting, so set the APU up. It'll get a bit noisy, so I'll close this. right up. And we're going to power shuffle as it goes across. And the gens come online. There we go. Ground power switches all came off. Worked like a champ. Excellent. And let's get left going. Ground power off. Ground power off.
Copy.
So occasionally it doesn't pick it up. You got to hold the mic
Ground power is now off.
key in long enough for it as well. So let's reset the flight controls. Half. APU off. Righto, we're ready to taxi now. 2 on multiplayer servers won't taxi with us, so I've got a taxi clearance. Now I could say Leeway Airbase, pause and then taxi to runway, but it's easier just to go when you've got the right channel dialed up. Request taxi to runway.
Dodge 1-1. Clear to taxi to runway 31.
Swap them out. And disconnect the nose wheel steering. Swipe out the rudders. And clear to taxi. Looks good. And we'll head down to 13, so I'm going to backtrack the runway to get to taxiing a bit quicker. So unlike single player where they would follow you down, and the server, the AI will sit there until I get a takeoff clearance. This is one of my favourite airbases on the Persian Gulf map. Just really well modelled. I think we're too far off the runway to get it now, but I'll just try something. Ready for departure. Yeah, too far off the runway. So we'll have to taxi. I'll taxi just to an intersection and we'll take off from there. Or intersection, backtrack and then take off. That way we can wait for 2 to join up a bit. And C5 visiting. And on the server here at Al Saffron we got a bunch of Ospreys and we've got Marine Corps Harriers here as well. And we've just got a detachment there to do some range practice. So I find Vaicom, even on multiplayer servers, if you're interacting with the air traffic control AI, it's good, it's useful, and if you're playing single player, it's good to drive the AI around as best you can. Beats using the menus. But you're obviously limited by the quality of the AI, which is quite frankly not really that good. To carry out simple instructions like bombing a static target, it's pretty hit and miss, really. So I'm going to call ready here and then backtrack, and that'll get him taxiing. So on COM 2 again, ready for departure.
Dodge 1-1. You are cleared for takeoff and ready. Climb is rolling at QFE 29.51.
Okay, so he's coming out of the shed, and we'll backtrack. So while backtracking, I'll just configure it. That's armed. Set. And trim set. And put the HUD up on there. We'll bring up steer point 1, which is the old Afra bombing range. Righto. So we'll turn around here and wait for him.
Dodge 1-1. Clear to taxi to runway 31.
It's miles away. So we've got the Harriers in there. And while he's taxiing up, we might get airborne, and the controls check. Wings are spread locked. Trim is set. Flaps off. Box up. Harnesses wheel lights. Transfer string is low and set armed. Righto. Let's get airborne, and we'll orbit over the top at 2000. And then we'll pick him up. Gear up. So the gear's away, and so it is one of the better air bases, I reckon. On this map, anyway. and still heading down to the runway head, and we are back over the top. Start bringing stuff online. Oh, they taxi slowly. 4 bar, 40 mile. Anyway, who doesn't like the sound of a Hornet overhead? And I can probably, while we're going here, I'll IFF up and running, data link on, might set the mids up, and it's working. Alright, so he's about to roll. He's got a turn coming around and we'll pick him up. Burner plugged in. When he calls rejoin, I'll get him to go to port side.
Wheels up.
Go port. Go port.
Roger.
So he'll switch in the port. He's just pulling it behind us there, and we'll get the turn going. They actually didn't accidentally keyed the mids, so that wasn't a. It's my error on the transmit button. Alright, so we'll come back over the top, set course. He should be slotting in nicely, which he is there. And the rejoin. And away we go. So we'll start the climb. And as we climb out, I'll just put the autopilot on, and we'll switch to there for ATIS. See if Darkstar's up. Darkstar. Request picture.
Dodge 1-1, Wizard 1-1, Signal Group
Wizard's
at
up.
065 for 100. Contact bearing 044 4260.
Righto. So you can do AWACS, we can get a picture, which we just did, doggy dope, vector to tanker, all those sort of things. We can talk to ATC, and obviously the wingman. So I'm going to we'll bring him in to closed group.
Roger.
So he's going to close group on us now. He's coming in. And we'll put him on the starboard side. Go starboard.
Roger.
Right, so it beats using the menus to do it. So that's just a bit of formation management.
Contact bearing 0434250.
And we'll level it off at 11,000. And stores, Mark 82s, mode, CCIP, nose, instant, let's see.
Contact bearing 0194300.
Quantity,
Contact bearing 0414280.
and we've got Ripple 2, that'll do. Righto, so he's swapped in there now, he's closed group on the starboard side. And I can get him to spread out.
Roger.
Right, so we'll roll into the target, and I'm going to get him to anchor, and then I'll make my pass. So we'll come in over the top. I'll bring up our DAFRA range control, and then we'll set him to anchor. Let's go air to ground mode on. Might be needing the radar. So I'll set that up, and Spencer's on. So the range we have set up on this server is a scored range. It has a couple of static targets and a strafe pit. So we'll hit the static target. I'll take the northernmost one, and if we can, we'll get him to bomb the southernmost one. But they don't. They tell you they're doing it, but they don't seem to do it. But anyway, we'll see what happens. So the range is just coming up on the nose, so I'm just going to start positioning so we can have a look at it as we come over the top. Let's go master arm on. There we go. And there's our range down there at 2 o'clock. So we have a couple of statics and a foul line and a strafing pit and a tower.
You enter the bombing range. For hit assessment, contact the range control line 395 megahertz.
Okay, so let's switch to 395, and that will be able to gets hit, so to anchor here.
2, copy.
Alright, so we'll place him anchoring over the top while I make my pass. And before we roll in, just
2, contact bearing 0294200.
Righto, let's start our run. Alright, so the northern one's the one closest to us, so we'll roll in on that. 30-degree dive, CCIP, and we should get some smoke markers.
Altitude.
Weapons off. Shaft clears, and away we go.
Impact 314 degrees 413. Excellent hit. Impact 243 degrees 46 feet. Excellent hit.
Right, I noticed 2 hasn't called out that he has a tally on that target down there, so it'll be interesting to see if he actually completes and rejoins, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, so I'll make this pass, then I'll call him in. Two, complete and rejoin.
2, roger.
Alright, so the commands work, but whilst whether he actually hits target or not, who knows. Alright, so we're back in on the same target.
2, contact bearing 0294220.
Still thinking about air targets.
Contact bearing 0284220.
Altitude.
Weapons off.
Impact 38 degrees 422 feet. Excellent hit. Impact 256 degrees 49 feet. Excellent hit.
Righto. So he should be maintaining above 10. We'll egress out, and
Have a nice day.
I will, thank you. We'll egress out and see how he goes. Right, and now we'll swap with him. He's behind us. Okay, there he is. So he's out there about 10 o'clock level. And we'll see what he does. So he's supposed to position and basically fly the patterns we were just flying on that run. So we'll see if he comes around. And if he doesn't, we'll get him to rejoin anyway.
the bombing range. For hit assessment, contact the range control line. 395 megahertz.
See if we can get tight on this guy.
You left the bombing range zone. Have a nice day.
So he looks like he's tracking out away from us. Certainly doesn't look like he's going for the target. No, I don't know where he's going, so let's get him to rejoin. To rejoin.
2, rejoin.
And we'll head on back to Liwa. So he's right over the top of our DEFRA for some reason. Anyway, I won't bother flying back, but it's much of the muchness. Vaicom works fine, AI not so fine. But yeah, you wanted to see it, so that's what it's like without menus. Thanks for watching.